What's up, guys? Welcome to Shades Tube. Thank you so much for tuning back in. It is 8:51 p.m. out here on the West Coast, guys, and I came back because of the breaking news that happened earlier today. Also, some other breaking news regarding KingVon's cousin, his shocking claims, and some more breaking news about the leader of Rolling 60s, I believe. He was arrested as well, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so guys, get you something to eat, something to drink, and relax and seat, the bed or whatever. Take time out and watch Shades Tube. And if you are at work, you know what I'm about to say. Keep doing your job and tune in to Shades Tube on the down low. All right, let's go ahead and do that copyright disclaimer. First, let me turn this down. Okay, let's go ahead and do that copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Hold on, let me get it because my butt is always somewhere else. Okay. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. That entire copyright disclaimer is in my description area. It will be in my comment area, and part of it is scrolling across that screen right there. All right. And guys, don't forget to thumbs up this video if you enjoy this content. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe below and hit that bell notification so you can be notified of any upcoming videos. Make sure you share and leave a comment. And thank you guys so much for doing that. And if you want to show additional support for this channel, you can copy yourself a membership for $4.99, a super sticker, a super chat, or you can do a Cash App donation at $Shades2. All donations are used to, help support things for this channel. All right. All right, let's go ahead and get started now. Welcome to everybody in the bushes, everybody watching in the replay, and over here in the chat, we have Jermaine in the place to be. Jermaine in the place to be. Thanks for coming back, Jermaine. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. This is a good mod. All of my mods are good, but Jermaine is exceptionally good at his job. All right, so thank you again, Jermaine, for coming in, because I know out there on the East Coast is every bit of what, 11:53. So yeah, we won't be in here long. All right. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and get started. First thing first, let's go ahead and talk about what happened today. All right. So I know you guys already know. Yella Beezy was arrested and charged with capital murder in the unaliving of rapper MO3. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about that a little bit. Hold on. So let me go ahead and show you some pictures of him in case you don't know what this dude looks like. And MO3 is the one with the yellow collar on his shirt. In case y'all don't know, I'll show you. Okay. So anyway, they say Yella Beezy is currently in police custody after being charged in the 2020 shooting unaliving of fellow Dallas rapper MO3. Now, according to explosive new details, Beezy is accused of hiring KingVon White to carry out the fatal shooting of MO3 in broad daylight on Interstate 35 back in November 2020. Court documents reveal that Yella Beezy allegedly contacted White to set up the hit, offering him payment in cash to get the job done. KingVon White, who has already been sentenced to 9 years in prison on firearm charges, is now awaiting trial for MO3's unaliving. The grand jury referral obtained by the Neighborhood Talk explicitly claims Beezy's charges include capital murder with remuneration. I guess I said that right. remuneration. I think that's how you pronounce that. Remuneration. Essentially accusing him of putting a price on Mo3's life. Now, anyway, following the news of Beezy's arrest, Mo3's mom took to Facebook with an emotional message stating justice for my baby. Okay. So let's see here. Now, again, according to court documents filed in Dallas County, Texas, Yella Beezy, real name Marcus Conway, I guess it's Marquise Conway. I guess they got that right. I don't know for sure. I thought it was Marquise Conway has been charged with capital murder while remuneration with authorities claiming that he paid shooter KingVon White to commit the crime. So Mo3, real name Melvin Noble Jr., was gunned down on Interstate 35E in Dallas on November the 11th, 2020, as he attempted to run away from the shooter. White pleaded guilty in May 2022 to possession of a firearm by a convicted felon and was sentenced to 9 years in prison. Like I said before, he is currently awaiting trial for Mo3's unaliving. Now, here is some court documents. Here, let's look at these real quick. I'm waiting for it to load, you guys. It just takes a while. I don't know why it hasn't loaded yet. Let's see. Let me try this again. Hold on for 1 second, you guys. I'm just trying to see if this is going to load up. We'll give it another minute and see if it will load up. And if it don't, we'll go ahead and move on to the rest of the stuff regarding Mo3 and Yella Beezy. I don't see anything coming up yet. And they obviously must have took that down because there's no way. Okay, let's see. Anyway, let's go ahead and see what else I got here. Hold on. Let's take this down. Wait, I'm trying to get all this stuff over here, you guys. Hold on a second. Okay, let's see what else I got here. Yeah, that just will not open up, you guys. Okay, let me go ahead and play these TikTok videos for you guys about Yella Beezy being arrested for Mo3's unaliving and just some things some of these TikTokers are saying. Okay, let me turn that music down real quick. And this is definitely some breaking. Let me put this banner up here as well. I forgot to put all that up. Y'all make sure y'all check out my earlier live as well, okay? Let's just put this up here. Let's just put this up here. I forgot to do all this. Hold on, y'all. Okay, so we're going to put this up here because I forgot to put all this up here. Okay. So let me let y'all hear these videos real quick, okay? Wait, let me...
Y'all been knew the situation between Yella Beezy and Mo3. Mo3 got on the track and bragged about shooting Yella Beezy multiple times. Bragged about killing Trap Boy Freddie homeboys multiple times. So I understand his mom and friends want justice for him, but let's call a spade a spade. These was two street niggas beefing, amen. It all started when Yella Beezy got Roy Lee knocked off. Now, why he did that, I don't know. Dude was a whole comedian, but allegedly, Yella Beezy had enough of this man and got him killed. Mo3 was not having that shit because that was one of his best friends, one of his only friends in the music industry, one of his only friends in the city. So what did Mo3 do? Catch Yella Beezy at a strip club, chase him through every light imaginable, and shot the fuck out of him on the highway. Yella Beezy, being way smarter than Mo3, came back and got Mo3 friend killed named Lil Bubba. The murder of Lil Bubba was publicized and shown all on TV because it was mafia style. So they knew then hits was being ordered in Dallas. After that, they put Mo3 back against the wall and he had to show that he was out here gorilla status. So he started stepping on shit, robbing shit, shooting shit, bragging about it. 3 was a whole villain. Trap Boy and Yella Beezy could not take it. So as a result, they commenced murder, allegedly. They commenced it. So we saying long live 3, and that's on me. But the truth of the matter is we have 2 young black superstars who was very successful, had children, supported their family and friends. They were great black men for the community, but they chose violence and threw it all away. This is Dallas County. I do not understand why Yella Beezy or Mo3 thought they could get away with this shit, but they about to learn real fast because Mo3 gonna get charged from the grave for all that bragging on them bodies he was doing. Y'all gonna see he wasn't no good guy. Y'all been knew the situation between Yella Beezy
so,
and
wait a minute, hold on. Let's stop this right quick.
On the track and bragged about shooting Yella Beezy multiple times.
Hold on. Let's go to read some of these comments real quick, guys, regarding this. First, let's read Jermaine's comment over here. Jermaine said, I think in Texas, if you are convicted of capital murder, you are eligible for the F penalty. We're going to look that up because I don't know for sure. So we will look that up to see if that's correct. Okay, let me go ahead and read some of these comments. Let's see here. Somebody said, Max said, Roy Lee said Yella was not from Oak Cliff. Yella was not feeling that. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see what else they got here. And then another commenter, Sir Ellis, said, all of them started out as friends, and that is crazy. Sephra said Earl Spence might be right behind him. All right, y'all heard that right. And then somebody said, say it again. Somebody said, tell it, it's deep. And then another commenter said, hold on now. Let's see here. Momo said, Charleston White done told us. And Daddy Ray said he don't miss. Young Ghost said, thank you for telling the truth about 3. He was definitely a villain. Somebody said he stood on business and was not scared. And then another commenter said Mo3 was not a good guy, bro. He was a murderer and could be heartless at times. He just made good music. Only thing good about him. Okay. Somebody said they swear Mo3 was an angel, cost his voice. And then they did LOL. Oh, somebody said, Steve said he's going to be free. Beezy got Jay-Z's people on his side. And then Momo said, you saw what they did to Bobby Schmurder. Jay and them don't care about nobody. All right. Okay, then Jason said he did say, I got hitters. Okay. And then somebody said, long live Mo3 with the laughing emoji. And then Rio say, if y'all didn't know this way before today, was you really a 3 fan? Levette said, this is sad, 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 sad. Let's see what else. Somebody said, not from the grave. And then they say Mo3 was such an antagonist. Okay, One Love said Yella had Roy Lee shot, but he survived. Roy Lee passed on because he had a blood clot. Rest in peace, Roy Lee and MO3. And then Lamont said Cali folded on Dallas real quick. And then King Batman said, listen, Mo3 was the truth. He wasn't playing truth of the matter. They should put the GU is down and fade it. Okay. And then another commenter said, for real, that's all they had to do. Leslie said, when you live by the sword, you pass on by the sword. And then She Bossy said, Roy Lee and Bubba brought out Osama, long live 3. And then Taco said, get them all feds. All right. And then JD said, man, Mo3 ran Errol Spence down. Okay. Let me see. Hold on. Hold on.
Multiple times.
Wait. I made a mistake. Got off my message. Okay, so Chant, or whatever his name is, said, thank you. It's all sad, but I'm from Philly. I knew how this was going to end, shaking my effing head. These guys are too emotional. Hey, Mo said, what's up, what's up, what's up? And then somebody said Mo3 was a real demon. All right. So this dude just broke it down. All right. I mean, he just broke down some things. I'm sure everybody already knew this, though. And the thing about it is this right here, guys. I'm glad, that they did, arrest this dude, for allegedly, hiring someone to unalive this dude. But I bet you the feds already had an eye on him really well, and they just had to get enough evidence to go ahead and pick him up. You know what I'm saying? Now, I actually saw a little of the story before they even arrested him. It was posted on a news site like almost probably 24 hours ago. Okay. So, I'm pretty sure they knew this was coming, that they were going to go out there and arrest this dude, Yella Beezy. Let me see what y'all saying up here. It definitely has been. It definitely has been. Okay, let me go ahead and play this other video I got over here. Hold on. Let me turn this down because music is playing in the background right here. Hold on. Let me see some other videos I have here. So this is Yella Beezy right here, you guys. In this video right here, he was talking in an interview. So listen. They was asking him about Mo3. Then he started over again.
Yella Beezy has been arrested for capital unaliving.
Wait a minute, I think this is not the right one, but listen to this one too. I got that other interview though.
I interviewed with you. I interviewed Mo3. Who?
Oh yeah, this is the right one.
I don't know who that is.
Let me do that again.
Where you from? Did the interview with you? I interviewed Mo3. Who? Mo3. I don't know who that is. Where you from? I think he's from the same place you're from. Same area. Dallas? Yeah. I don't know him. Never heard of him? I know everybody from my city making noise. Yella Beezy has been arrested for capital unaliving in the tragic passing of hip-hop artist Mo3 back in November 2020. 4 years after the tragic passing of Mo3, the police have taken Yella Beezy into custody in Dallas, Texas. They say innocent until proven guilty. In this case, we'll just have to see. Court documents from sources say Yella Beezy was arrested, allegedly for intentionally and knowingly causing the passing of Mo3. The document accuses Yella Beezy of planning and hiring a hitman named Q White to unalive Mo3. The incident occurred on a highway in Dallas, Texas, when Mo3 was ambushed by White and unalived. White was eventually captured and taken into custody. Later in February, he received charges of aggravated assault with a harmful weapon in connection with the unaliving in November. White also struck a bystander who was sitting in their vehicle and wounded them. Besties, how will this turn out for Yella Beezy? Do you think he's innocent? Y'all let us know down below in the comments. After we did the interview with you, I interviewed Mo3. Who?
In 2019, he knew him. I mean, so I guess he was just trying to be funny when he said no, he didn't know him. Let me see what some of these comments are saying. Somebody said, oh, you know who that is. Justice for Mo3. They said, wow, that's the most obvious sign of guilt when someone says they don't know the descendant. He actually did this video, though, in 2019 before Mo3 was unalive. Mo3 was unalive in 2020. So in 2019, he was claiming that he did not know Mo3. So I guess they were beefing then. So that's probably the reason why he was saying he don't know who Mo3 is and all this other stuff he was saying. Okay. So I mean, I don't think somebody says acting here is not even good, but I don't think he was like trying to convince anybody. I think he was being like basically sarcastic. All right. We already know that he knew Mo3. Okay. He was just like basically because they probably was beefing. I don't know him. But in reality, he did know him. He was just pissed, at him. So of course he's gonna act like that. Okay, let's go and see what else I got here. So that was a trip. Hold on. Let me do this, y'all. Let me turn this music back down. Let's look at the other video that I have and see what they're saying on this one. Let's see. I got so many. Let's see. Is this it right here? I just showed y'all that one, that one. Let's see what this one is. Oh, this is KingVon. I want to go to KingVon. Let's look at this one. That's KingVon. See if I got any Mo3 stuff. Okay, that's different right there. Let me make sure I have another one. Make sure I showed y'all. Did I show y'all this one? Let me see. Oh, yeah, this is just going to repeat the same thing. Let me see if he says anything different about this entire thing. He may have a little bit more different information. Let's see.
In the continuance of the case of Mo3, rapper Yella Beezy was arrested today in the streets and saying
I'm going to have to take this off. We got his song playing. Akon song playing in the background.
Continuance of the case of Mo3.
I'm going to have to take him off. Oh.
Many people jumped for joy when they saw the picture of Yella Beezy next to the alleged killer of Lil Ronnie and his daughter. It exposed his hand. It showed his criminal ties. It showed he be with them hitters, for real. And as far as Mo3 case go, close sources are saying that the alleged killer was just moved from federal custody to Dallas County, meaning he could be cooperating with the federal government. All I know is, based off that viral picture and what the streets been saying, it ain't looking good for Yella Beezy. Hopefully, these are all allegations and none of this is real. But his name has been hot in these internet streets. He been trying to lay low, trying to be friendly with the bloggers, but that don't seem to be working out. I pray all families in these cases receive justice because we do not condone or promote violence. Long live Mo3, long live Roy Lee, long live Bubba, long live Ryan, long live Armani. Kids, as y'all can see, be a gangster rapper like these niggas and you gonna get a life sentence.
So let me stop. So this dude right here was just saying that allegedly the streets. Now I have not even heard of this. I want to play it over again, but since he's playing Akon in the background, I'm not gonna play it. So he just said that Yella Beezy was also allegedly being held too because of Lil Ronnie and his daughter. Now I haven't heard of anything like that. Even when I looked at the actual paperwork, I didn't see that. So I don't know where they got that from. Okay, how they could tie him to that unaliving, but that's what he just said. So what do you guys think about that? Do y'all believe that? Do y'all believe he has something to do with Little Ronnie and his daughters unaliving as well? I mean, like I said, I never heard that before. So that's kind of weird. Let's see. Somebody said, I can't even be mad at Yella. 3 had them boys scared for real, for real. What else was he going to do? Okay, let's see here. Now they saying, another commenter said, they say he is part of the Diddy trafficking stuff. I'm telling these people be coming up with all types of stuff. I'm not gonna lie. All right, let's see. So they says it's only for Mo3, not Little Ronnie. False news. That's what I'm saying. I never heard that before, so I don't know where they got that. But he did say allegedly. He says it right here, allegedly, and he said he gave the public's speculation. Okay, that's what he said. He didn't say that. He said that somebody, he said, rumor has it, I believe, the public or YouTubers or social media people are saying, the streets, he said the streets are saying that this dude, Yella Beezy, also was connected to Little Ronnie and his daughters on a line. That's what he said, something similar to that. And then somebody said, I thought him and Ronnie was cool. Okay, so I don't know. Hold on, let's see what somebody said. Somebody said, I see nothing in the news outlets about his arrest. It took a while for it to get in official news. It was in another news. It was on another news outlet. Like like I said at the time when I looked at it 19 hours before, that was like some hours ago. But they were basically talking about something else which ties into this arrest right here. Okay. Somebody said I never heard of this dude until now. Okay. Let's see here what else they got. Somebody else said Errol Spence is going to be locked up next. They said, of course, KingVon is going to talk. Boy was a crybaby when he was in juvie. Long live little Melvin. And like we already know, he's officially been charged with the murder of Dallas rapper MO3 and not Little Ronnie. Okay. So I don't know where they got that rumor from. Okay. When I heard that, I was like, what? Because I didn't hear anything, regarding that. But he did say the streets was saying that. He didn't say that he saw that on the court paper. He said the streets were saying that. So it is what it is. But I'm glad, like I said before, I'm glad that they, got this dude, he's hiring people to unalive people and shit. It's just not a good look, But like they always say, these rappers, I don't understand. Again, I just don't understand why some of these rappers insist on engaging in certain behavior, even when they get successful. You would think once you get successful, you get money, you get a chance to do the things that you want to do, you would basically try to pull away from that street life. Okay. Because you would think, since you got everything that you want, you would try to make that be what it is. You know what I'm saying? You want to enjoy this. I don't understand why they be doing all this beefing, why they take it to such a high level, you know what I'm saying? And they end up unaliving each other and other people get hurt, and it's just plainly ridiculous. And then you look at everybody and everybody is black. Okay. We just got to do better for real. It's good that he is arrested and charged with capital ill. But the thing is, that is not going to bring MO3 back and all of the other people who are unalive. Okay, it's just not. All right. It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy on all levels. It really is. And I don't know what else to say about it. You know what I'm saying? I just don't. Let's see this real quick. Hold on, let me look up something real quick. Do y'all have anything to say in the chat? Let's see what hip hop news is saying. And then I need to look up the capital order for Texas too. Let's see here. So they did say, like the dude said, he is accused of intentionally and knowingly causing the unaliving of fellow artist MO3. Well, like I said, Dallas County prosecutors allege Yella Beezy hired KingVon White to carry out a hit on MO3 in November the 11th, 2020, with a firearm. So either he paid or either he promised to pay White after Mo3 passed on. Now, the rapper has had to fend off rumors of his involvement in the murder since it happened. Now, during an interview with the Lamp channel, Yella Beezy said he never addressed whether he was involved because he did not want to legitimize the Mo3 rumors. He says certain shit needs to be addressed. Certain shit don't. Okay? Stop attaching me to all that shit because it ain't got nothing to do with me. Beezy blamed the rumors on his beef with Mo3 and felt the two would always be linked in the public eye. Let's turn this off because it's getting ready to do the most. Now, anyway, as you guys already know, Yella Beezy's story has not been consistent. However, he told Bootleg Cav that he never had problems with the late artist in 2023. He said that was a big ass impact on the whole city. And he said this when he was asked about the local effects of the shooting. Now, the rapper went as far as to likening Mo3's passing to that of Nipsey Hussle in LA. He said, that's how that shit you. What? That's how that shit you? Or do they mean that's how they shit you? It's always got to be some type of bullshit that allows people to get their flowers. Anyway, the sentiment struck many as odd, given that Mo3 repeatedly dissed Yella Beezy via social media in songs like Let Me Find Out. So again, Yella Beezy said, that's how that shit happens to you, I guess. It always got to be some type of bullshit that allows people to get their flowers. Okay? So they thought that was kind of odd because, you know, Mo3 was lashing out at Yella Beezy via social media and on songs like Let Me Find Out. All right? Now they said Beezy is no stranger to legal trouble. The rapper was arrested in Collin County in 2021 and charged with sexual assault and child endangerment or abandonment. Now, CBS News confirmed the charges against the rapper were dropped the subsequent year. Yella Beezy's lawyers have not yet commented regarding the rapper's arrest. If he is convicted of capital murder, he could face up to life in prison. That is crazy, man. Mm-mm. So in the state of, not California, in the state of Texas, let's see. In the state of Texas, does capital murder, I don't know how to access, let's see.
According to Wikipedia, capital punishment is a legal penalty in the U.S. state of Texas for murder and participation in a felony resulting
Okay,
in
so it does. It already answered the question.
Who is at least 18 years old.
So it's participating in a felony. Okay, hold on. No, it didn't answer. Let me just type it in. Let me put it up here like this. Okay, let me put it on here so I can be able to say it like I need to. I was trying to change everything for YouTube. It's a hot mess. You type it, you can just get it. Yeah, it can. So it can get either life, or like we already know, life in prison without parole, or the F penalty. All right. So it just depends on what the prosecutor asks for. He may ask for the F penalty. I don't know for sure. Okay, point blank. I don't know. Or he just may get life in prison without the possibility of parole. You know, and like I said before, it's a shame how our young men, our black young men, are just basically throwing away their lives, engaging in foolishness, over foolishness. You know what I'm saying? Over words, you know, over just crazy stuff. But you know, you also got to blame some of these older men because they are the ones that setting these examples for these younger dudes, and they be out here bickering, with other people over foolishness too. So I mean, they're not good role models, point blank. All right, and it's just plainly ridiculous. Let's see what else we got here. And I am going to keep you guys updated on all of this. Like once this lawyers speak, everything, you know. Um, let's see if they got any updated news since then. Let's see what else they got here. They just updated it, so let's see if they got anything new on here. I don't see anything new. Let's see. So let's listen to this right here. Let's see if they got anything new regarding this. Let me turn this off. I know we're going to hear some ads first, so bear with me, okay? We know we're going to hear it. We may not, though. Let's see. Whether we're going to hear some buffering. Oh, no. Here's the ad right now.
Get your grow on with the exclusive Outdoor Escape channel.
Let me let this go off, y'all.
Plus and HSN
Skip ad. Okay.
And we have two breaking news stories tonight, starting with an update on a rapper gunned down on a highway 5 years ago. Dallas police now say Yella Beezy hired a hitman to kill his one-time friend turned rival.
That's sad.
MO3. Cole Sullivan is live at the county jail. These are well-known rappers in the Dallas hip-hop scene.
Chris, Yella Beezy's top single, it Put It On Me, it peaked at 56 on the Billboard Hot 100. Now, he's in the Dallas County Justice Complex behind me on a capital murder charge, accused of hiring a hitman to kill a fellow rapper. This all happened back in 2020. And just before noon, in the middle of Interstate 35, just south of Dallas Zoo, Dallas police arrested a 22-year-old and charged him with murder. Initially, that 22-year-old's in federal prison, convicted of gun charges. But now, 5 years later, they say he was the trigger man. Police say Yella Beezy, whose hot song top song That's On Me, hired that 22-year-old and promised him cash for killing Mo3. A grand jury handed up an indictment this week and booked Marquise Conway tonight. The killing of Melvin Noble, known as Mo3, led to an outpouring of grief from his fans. Dozens held a memorial outside Dallas City Hall that week. He once was friends with the man now accused of hiring someone to murder him. The killing has long been suspected to be the result of a rap feud. We reached out to Yella Beezy's legal team tonight and have not heard back. We're waiting to hear back on a bond amount for him as well. We'll bring you updates tomorrow on Daybreak. Chris.
All right, thank you, Cole. You know, Yella Beezy's career, and this isn't his first run-in with the law. Go to WFAA.com, where we posted a story on his previous arrests, as well as the time he was shot several times in 2018.
Okay. So he just been a damn doing the most for the longest, It just, like I said, it just really doesn't make any sense, guys. How these young people just, even when they get success, a little fame or whatever the case is, they still just can't leave that lifestyle alone. They still got to be involved in the games. They got to still, do the beefing, trying to prove themselves to other people. And then in the end, they are the ones that either go to jail or either be unalive, while those people who were listening to all this stuff are still alive, enjoying their lives. It just doesn't make any sense. It's plainly ridiculous. It truly is. And when is this going to stop? You would think people would learn from Pac and Biggie Smalls. Okay, but that happened way back in 96, 97? And it's like how many years later, and yet they are still doing the same thing over and over again, unaliving each other, over words, beating up each other over words, or because somebody did something to your homeboy or homegirl or whatever the case is. It's just plain ridiculous. And a lot of lives are ultimately affected, okay? Not just the person that you're alive, but the people who did the unaliving and their family members, So it's just not a good thing. It's not a good thing in no type of way, and hopefully, one day, these rappers that choose to, indulge in all this type of stuff, hopefully one day they will see that it's time out for this type of, behavior. It's time out. You know what I'm saying? I thought one of the reasons people want success and fame and power and money is to get up out of situations and to live a better life, not to still stay in that same life and still partake in foolishness. All right? What's the point of having money if you're going to still do the same old thing you were doing when you were broke? It doesn't even add up. It doesn't. So let's see. Okay, so that was updated at 10:07 p.m. Central Daylight Time. So they haven't came up with anything new. So like I told y'all before, if I get any, I'm sure I'm going to get some more updates. I'll let you guys know, tomorrow or whatever the case is. I will be following this story, just keep you guys posted. Now I'm not going to go into their backgrounds and all this other stuff. You can go to other channels for that. I just want to let you guys know what happened today and give you a brief information about, Yella Beezy, MO3, and all, the food and things like that. Okay? That is crazy. Let's see if they got anything else here, okay? He's 33 years old, huh? Mm-mm-mm. I'm just making sure there's nothing else here, guys. Hold on for a second. So yeah, I think that's it for right now. And I don't want to do no conspiracy theories, so we're going to bypass that, okay? Let's see. So anyway, let me just tell you guys another breaking news. Hold on, let me get it real quick. Let me find it. Hold on for me 1 second. So anyway, the alleged leader of a LA Crips Rolling 60s gang was arrested and charged. Okay, so let's go ahead and read this a little bit, and let me change this heading real quick. Hold on, let me stop this real quick. I don't want them to start talking yet. Damn. Hold on. Let me go ahead and change this battery. I'm not battery. This banner. We're gonna leave this one up. We're gonna do this slow. Let me just put this up here like this. Okay, so anyway, guys, let me check these messages over here real quick. Yep, rest in peace to Mo3 and everybody else who passed, because of this entire beefing situation. Okay, so let me let y'all go ahead and hear this, guys. Hold on. Let me turn this music off. Y'all can hear it and see it at the same time.
Figures is now facing serious criminal charges.
That's right. Federal authorities say Eugene Big U Henley led a violent criminal enterprise responsible for murder, extortion, and fraud.
KCAL News anchor Gio Signaris joins us now with a story that is shocking a whole lot of people tonight.
That's certainly an understatement, Juan. Susie, good evening to both of you. Authorities describing Eugene Big U Henley as a man who presented himself as an entertainment entrepreneur and a community leader. We've even reported on his charitable efforts as recently as this past Christmas. But federal investigators now say he ran what they're calling a mafia-like organization responsible for serious crimes across LA. Federal agents say Eugene Henley led what they're calling the Big U Enterprise, a criminal organization tied to the Rollin' 60s Crips street gang. According to a 107-page complaint, Henley and his associates allegedly extorted professional athletes and musicians, including NBA star Draymond Green and Lakers legend Shaquille O'Neal, persuading them to donate to his charities and later allegedly transferring the money to his personal bank accounts.
The facts alleged in the complaint paint a very different picture. It is one of a murderer, a thief, a liar, and a cheat, and the criminals that enabled him.
Authorities also say Henley is linked to the 2021 murder of an aspiring rapper whose body was found in the Las Vegas desert. Investigators accuse Henley of fatally shooting the young musician over a dispute. In addition to violent crimes, prosecutors say Henley defrauded donors, including celebrities and companies, funneling charity funds into his personal accounts. His organization, Developing Options, received millions from LA's Gang Reduction and Youth Development Program.
He used that goodwill to benefit himself. He diverted money from that charity and lined his own pockets with it. And that money was ultimately traced, and that we can show that he used it for personal purposes.
Dr. Georgia Leap, an adjunct professor of social welfare at UCLA, is an expert in gangs and community justice. She knew Henley through her work and says this latest news is heartbreaking, but not shocking.
He was a very charismatic, very arresting, no pun intended, a very arresting personality. And, you know, he had the smile and he had the charisma, and he could talk to kids and he could talk to OGs and everybody in between.
I got a Ninja Turtle set and I got a Spider-Man set.
Last Christmas, he collected $40,000 in donations for a South LA toy drive. But the night before the event, he claimed a truck containing all the toys was stolen. He offered up security video of the truck driving off and pleaded with the community to donate again. It did. At the time, Henley called it a great save by the community.
So to think that somebody was stealing a bunch of toys, stealing Christmas, that's kind of crazy.
Henley's community roots also stretch to other major Southern California figures. He helped launch the career of rapper Nipsey Hussle and starred in a 2021 FX docuseries called Hip Hop Uncovered. Henley's son is also LA Chargers linebacker Dayan Henley.
The world of crime, not just with gangs, but the world of crime is seductive. And even when people say they've walked away, a minority, a small number, get lured back in.
Henley, who previously served 13 years in prison for a drug-related robbery, turned himself in Wednesday afternoon. He'll face charges of extortion, human trafficking, fraud, and murder. Henley is among 19 people accused in the wide-ranging charges. As for the long-term impact, experts believe a sense of betrayal from community members is understandable, but won't deter the long-term goal of helping others.
I think once people deal with that sense of betrayal, they're going to look at others who they trust and continue to put their faith in them.
Federal authorities say this case is part of a broader effort to combat organized crime in LA and ensure community safety. Now, if convicted, Henley could face a max sentence of life in prison. Susie, I'll send it over to you.
Well, he might as well kiss his freedom goodbye.
One of LA's most prominent music and community.
He might as well listen. He might as well face. He might as well say goodbye to his life. Okay, because he's going to be locked up forever. Forever. Let's read some of these comments. Somebody said, so he was a con man. He sounds familiar. Okay, I'm just going to leave it at that. Somebody said, send Big U to El Salvador. Temporary vacation. You will enjoy it. Somebody said, wonder if he paid his son's way to the top. Laughing my ass off. He sure is finished. Damn, I didn't know it was that extensive. Goodness. Somebody said, y'all cold for lying on this man. Okay, how are they lying on this man? Okay. Somebody said the rolling 60s need to roll their asses to El Salvador prison. That goes with the Bloods also. Okay, Lenny. Let's see what else. Somebody said federal charges. Big U has the local politicians in his pockets. Don't Be a Sheep said, this is great. He should be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law. But why can't law enforcement have the same vigor to go after people like Nancy Pelosi, who is clearly doing insider trading, making millions upon millions, always seems to get away with murder. This guy is low-hanging fruit and obviously easier to bring in, but it's just a shame. The real criminals, the ultra criminals, get to walk. This dude was not hardly no ultra criminal, all right, period, or no low level. Okay, he was doing the most, allegedly, all right? He was basically being a con man, tricking people. I bet you the toys wasn't really even stolen. You know what I'm saying? You know, that probably was a planned thing right there. So, I mean, he was doing the most. They said, of course, this man got busted after he got into it with WAC 100. The federal informant himself, Mr. 100, snitched on him. And if that is true, that's why you cannot be letting people know what you into. All right? All right? Because you never know when you may get into a beef with them and then they start telling, and things like that. You just can't be telling people what you're doing, period. So somebody said, but the reinstated LA cop who illegally tracked his girlfriend, who is a LA police officer. So talk about corruption. Somebody said, don't do the crime if you do not want to do the time. They said they should have taken his son too. Then Mary said he pocketed the money on the toys 2 times. Somebody said he is not a criminal like the ASC of A. Okay. Somebody said, if this is true, you can't stop being a criminal, a predator, horrible. All right. So anyway, like I said, and then they say, I bet he's behind Nipsey's fate. You never know, guys. You just never know. All right. You just know. You know what? Honestly, I hate to say it. I was like thinking certain things, then too. I don't want to be saying too much on here, but yeah, I was thinking certain things myself. This is crazy, man. I got to tell y'all this story right here. But yeah, that is crazy. Let me see what else I can pull up on this article real quick. What time is it now? Let me hurry up. Hold on real quick, y'all. Hold on, let me see. But you cannot be doing all these things and think you're going to get away with it forever. I don't know why some people don't realize that you can never be that slick, and you never know when the feds may be watching you, especially when you're doing stuff like he was doing. You know what I'm saying? He was doing allegedly drug trafficking, conspiracy, and firearm offenses. All right. So they said that he ran a mafia-like enterprise and charged with crimes including drug trafficking. All right. Here's another picture of him right here. He's 58 years old. It's a clear picture because you can really see it on what's the name. So he was very nice and everything. He had people tricked. But you know what? A lot of con artists, con men, con women are just like that. They be very nice. They be trying to help you. At least they try to make it look like they're trying to help you. Okay? They be doing the most. But behind closed doors, and when you're not looking, they be doing other things. Okay? Because that's what con people do. All right? So let's see. Let's see what else they got on him. So they said before he turned himself in, guys, he basically was recording videos denying these accusations. Of course, he said this is the price of being Black and trying to help somebody, trying to help your community and do what you can. You are just guilty because somebody else don't like you. So anyway, he did have an appearance today in federal court. Okay. And they claimed that they could not locate an attorney for him at the time. Now they said 10 gang members were arrested this week, while Henley, 58, and one other were initially considered fugitives. All right. So they do have all of the people in custody. So they did say this dude Henley allegedly masterminded a criminal operation that investigators dubbed the Big U Enterprise. And he is also suspected of embezzling donations to Developing Options, an anti-gang charity he founded, but which prosecutors say he used as a front for fraudulent purposes and to insulate its members from suspicion by law enforcement. I don't care how much you think about stuff, how slick you think you are, how much time when you went to jail before, like he was in prison before for what, 10, 13 years, you think you studied and you think you found everything out about the law. I don't care how slick and shit and knowledgeable that you are of the law. You can best believe if you're doing something like this, they are probably watching, okay? And they're gathering all of the information up, everything, the proof. And then one day, they're going to do this. It's going to be harder than this. Open up. Okay? Or they just going to come in and arrest you, period. Now, they also said, like we heard in a video, he is also suspected in the 2021 unaliving of an aspiring rap musician who was signed to his recording company, Unique Music, according to prosecutors. The rapper, identified in court documents as RW, was allegedly shot and alive by Henley after he recorded a defamatory song about the gang leader at a Las Vegas studio. That's what I'm talking about. Here we go. Another prime example of what I was saying regarding MO3 and Yella Beezy. Okay, I said a lot of times these younger dudes don't be knowing, how to stop doing some things because it's the older dudes they are watching. These older dudes are not good examples. They're in their 50s and 60s and shit, still acting like little ass boys and doing little stupid shit. All right? Unaliving people because they do a song about you that basically talks about you or maybe even lie about you. Okay? Now, see, if he gets life in prison, if he's found guilty and get life in prison, his whole entire damn life is just going to be messed up. I mean, he's 58 now. He's going to live the rest of his middle age incarcerated, and then when he get old, he's going to be in there. Who wants a life like that? That's what we telling you, black men in particular. You have to start making better choices. All right, point blank. And like they said before, RW, the rapper, his body was found in a ditch off of Interstate 15 in the Nevada desert. Now, they said that Henley ran that business, that enterprise, like a mob boss. And he used a statute and long-standing association with the Rolling 60s and other street gangs to intimidate businesses and individuals in Los Angeles. They said not only did the enterprise expand its power through violence, fear, and intimidation, it also used social media platforms, documentaries, podcasts, interviews, and Henley's reputation and status as an OG to create fame to create fame for and stoke fear of the Big U Enterprise, its members, and its associates, the U.S. Attorney's statement said. Okay? So anyway, again, he is accused of organizing criminal activity, including extortion, robbery, trafficking, exploiting ex-workers, fraud, illegal gambling, and he's also suspected of submitting a fraudulent application for a CV-19 pandemic relief loan for unique music. Again, that's why I said you can't be doing all these things, because they be watching. You see all this stuff they got, and he probably didn't even know this. All right, more than likely he didn't. All of this stuff. Now, those CV-19 pandemic relief loans was way back in what? 2019-20. It's like almost like 5 years later. And now they got enough evidence. That's when they made the big arrest. Just, it doesn't make any sense. I'm telling you. I don't know why these people think they're never going to get caught. I just don't understand this. So it is what it is. I'll be keeping you guys, updated regarding him as well. Again, black men, y'all got to stop choosing the same cycle and do something a little bit different. All right? Because remember, the youth, the black young men are looking at you guys. You guys are the role models. You have to set good examples for your young brothers. And that's on everything. Now, let's go ahead and go to the next story, guys. It's about KingVon, what his cousin said. All right? Hold on, let me change this banner again. Hold on, y'all. Give me a minute. Okay, let me hurry up. I'm going to show this real quick. I did not put this whole name. Let me edit this. Hold on. Let me edit this. I forgot. I told y'all I can't type with crap. Shay cannot type with crap, guys. Okay, so now we're going to talk about KingVon. I think I spelled his name correctly. Let me see what he did. Hold on, before we go over, let me see what he said in federal court. Hold on, let me see what he said here. That's him in court right there, okay. Hold on, let's see what they said about him in court. Let me see if it's gonna come open. Let me let y'all see this first before we move on to this other story, because I didn't see this at first. Hold on. Hey, Tony Vance, what's up? What's up? What's up? Thank you for tuning in. Okay, let me let y'all see this real quick. Let me turn this music off. Because he did, I got his federal court thing. I mean, his court case thing he went for today. He went to see the judge. Hold on. We got to let this this ad go off first. Wait. Where's the sound?
The Rolling 60s Crips gang made its first appearance in federal court. In fact, we just got this sketch in from the courtroom. The judge ordered Eugene Henley Jr. to remain in federal custody at least until his detention hearing, which is now scheduled for March 31st.
Damn.
Henley turned himself in to federal agents yesterday.
Well, that's next week.
Investigators also looking into his charity and how he used donations and grant money. NBC4's Alex Rozier joins us live with reaction. You will see for the first time only on 4. Alex.
Colin, Eugene Henley Jr.'s charity received millions of dollars in grant money from the city's GRID program. That's the Gang Reduction and Youth Development Program.
Hey.
But the feds say his charity was a front for his criminal enterprise. And today we're hearing reaction from other grant recipients who reacted to this news.
Eugene Henley Jr., known as Big U, is well known in the community.
It's season 2 of Checking In.
On his podcast seen here on YouTube, he's been joined by celebrities like Nick Cannon.
I grew up in the church.
And Snoop Dogg.
The big homie. Yes, sir.
But Big U's also known for his nonprofit, Developing Options, that works to reduce gang violence.
They do tremendous work with youth, particularly around sports and gang intervention.
Dr. Robert Sacedo runs Community Build, another organization that works on gang reduction, and he knows Big U.
Your experience with Big U has been positive.
Oh, absolutely positive.
And that's why he was stunned to learn of his arrest. The feds say Big U ran a criminal enterprise that committed a series of racketeering crimes, including extortion, human trafficking, fraud, and the 2021 murder of an aspiring rapper.
I was shocked to hear, but we're always shocked when we hear the initial news. And that's why I always tell people, hey, let's not rush to judgment.
The feds also said Henley Jr.'s charity was a front for his criminal enterprise.
Mr. Henley is accused of embezzling donations made by celebrities, professional athletes.
Court papers said Developing Options has received millions in grant money from the City of LA's Gang Reduction and Youth Prevention Program, known as GRID. Dr. Sasato's nonprofit is also a GRID grant recipient, and even after the arrest, he's a big believer in the program.
The GRID intervention and prevention employees across the spectrum of GRID agencies are really the silent heroes you don't know anything about or hear about. Several years ago, when murders in Los Angeles were high of 1,200 per year, that number's come down to, I think, just over a couple of hundred per year. And that's a direct result of us doing the type of work we do.
Not only does Dr. Sasato believe in the program, he still speaks highly of Big U's charity.
I am aware of the great work that they've done in their section of town.
But Developing Options leader is now in custody, facing the possibility of decades behind bars.
We just need to let the process take its place and see where it lands.
And as we mentioned, Henley appeared in federal court this afternoon and will remain in federal custody until at least his detention hearing scheduled for the end of the month. If convicted of these racketeering charges, he faces the possibility of 20 years in prison. Reporting live, I'm Alex Rozier, NBC4 News.
All right, Al.
He's going to be old as shit, almost 80. Okay? Gosh. So we're going to do like this man suggests, okay? This is allegedly. And hopefully, he did not commit all of these acts. But, like we already know, when the feds come down on your ass, they usually have all the proof they need. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on how much proof they have and what it is, to determine if he's found guilty, how many years he will get in prison. Okay, so we're going to be, following the story. They said he would be going up for his detention hearing on the 31st, which is next week. So we'll be, following this closely to see what happens, how everything plays out. All right, so I just want to show y'all that because at first I didn't see it. You can't be using that damn grant money though. You can't be doing that, because now you're walking up a whole different avenue. Now, let me go ahead and move on to KingVon, like I just told you guys. All right. So I'm just going to go ahead and tell you guys before I show you guys these videos. So anyway, y'all, KingVon's cousin reportedly alleges the rapper passed away from shock after his second surgery. So this is KingVon right here. Okay. Is he? Okay, we're still going to read it just to see what he's talking about. You say he's a big liar, huh? Okay, anyway, they said that they said KingVon is still a dominant figure in Chicago drill, even if the past few years have seen a lot of discussions around his grisly murder rather than his artistic contributions. For example, there are a lot of questions around these circumstances that continue to pop up as conspiracy theories, even if fans are pretty skeptical as to their truth. Now, his cousin, Balo, reportedly alleged that the rapper actually made it through his second surgery after his shooting in 2020. He supposedly regained consciousness, but later sprung out of his hospital bed, fought with nurses, searched for his GUN, and ultimately passed away due to shock. Definitely check it out, Tony Vance. Thank you so much. I know. Now, of course, take this with a massive grain of salt, as even the most ardent Von supporters and family sympathizers raise their well, I can't even talk, eyebrows at this story. Now, sadly, other relatives continue to deal with the more negative aspects of this fallout and aftermath, whether they are instigators or the innocent. For those unaware, KingVon's sister is going at his girlfriend, Yella Beezy and Asian Dog, respectively, having clashed a lot about the truth of that relationship and plenty of other issues. So this is his cousin right here, I guess. So anyway, they said the most recent discussion around the late MC follows more concerning activity that we still don't have a hard explanation for. Earlier this year, 6ix9ine took to social media to troll once again after a fake KingVon coffin arrived on his doorsteps. He said, "I'm pretty sad," he reportedly gloated to TMZ after this broke into the news cycle. "I wanted to keep the KingVon coffin and put it in my room, but the police had to confiscate it. I wanted to sleep in the coffin to feel what it was like to be KingVon for a day." That's so damn stupid, okay? I told y'all, some of these damn rappers don't got no damn sense, okay? That's crazy and very disrespectful. Anyway, I don't know why he think he needs to get in the coffin. I mean, eventually he'll find out what it feels like. I mean, then again, he won't be alive, but maybe he can go buy a coffin, okay, himself. Not one that's supposed to be like KingVon's or whatever the case is. Just go get one and go lay in it. That's crazy. Why would you want to know what it feels like to be in a coffin? Why would you want to know what it feels like to KingVon? KingVon don't know what it feels like to be in a coffin because he's not alive. That's stupid. So they said, meanwhile, another recent development was news statements from KingVon's alleged murderer as a press run from Lou Tim for a documentary on his perspective of the situation led to many reflections. These caused a lot of controversy among the rap community, but it's clear that everyone involved in this situation knows it could have gone much differently had cooler heads and warmer hearts prevailed. So let's just talk about what happened to Von, just in case you guys don't know. Let's see. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let me get that real quick. Hold on. I went into a whole nother damn section. Just in case y'all don't know. Hold on, let me go to it. And then we're going to read some of these comments. This boy is crazy. And let me just hold this right here, too. I got to keep this. It's about Gene Hackman. Okay, hold on. Let me go back. We just need to close this out. Damn, this damn crazy ass Google. Okay, hold on, y'all. Let me just do this real quick. This damn ass. Hold on. So hold on, let's look. Hold on, let me go on. Hold on, damn. I'll just get off this daggone stuff every time I be over here looking for stuff. Hold on. So anyway, as you guys already know, this is KingVon right here. Okay, it's pretty young. like they all are. He was 26 at the time too, okay? So he was involved in a shooting in ATL on Friday morning, November the 6th. Like I say, he was 26 years old at the time. 3 people were unalive and 3 injured in a shooting outside Monaco Hookah Lounge. They said the shooting allegedly escalated from an argument between 2 groups, which prompted one of 2 off-duty uniformed police officers working security outside the lounge and an on-duty officer on patrol nearby to intervene. APD says shots were fired during the encounter, but added that the officers were not injured. Now, according to police, paramedics took 3 suspects to the hospital. 3 others went to the hospital on their own, and 2 more suspects were detained at the scene. ATL Police Department confirms KingVon, aka Davon Bennett, was one of the individuals unalive at the shooting. At this time, our investigators believe Mr. Bennett was shot during the initial shootout between the 2 groups of males, prior to police responding and attempting to stop the shooting. APD also said it could not find Von at the scene. He arrived at the hospital on his own. Okay, so wait a minute, hold up. I thought y'all said that KingVon was on the ground unalive. If the police said that they could not find KingVon at the scene, right? And then they say he arrived at the hospital on his own. So that doesn't mean that, okay, so his cousin said that he had 2 surgeries, right? And he said he woke up and started tripping and then went into shock and passed on. So that doesn't mean he could be telling the truth, because I thought that Von passed on right there on the scene. They said that the Atlanta Police Department could not find KingVon at the scene. He arrived at the hospital on his own. So if he arrived at the hospital on his own, does that mean that somebody took him to the hospital, or did he drive himself? Because if you arrived at the hospital on your own, that would mean that he drove himself, right? Anyway, y'all, they said outlets, including No Jumper podcast, speculate that the shooting involved a dispute between Von and, of course, Quando Rondo. So anyway, on November the 8th, the Atlanta Police Department Homicide Unit secured arrest warrants against 22-year-old Timothy Leaks for felony murder in the shooting unaliving of Devon Bennett, Devon Bennett, which is KingVon. Mr. Leaks is in police custody at Grady Hospital, where he is undergoing treatment for a gunshot wound. And then they closed his case. So his friends took him. Okay. Thank you, Tony. So they said before his unaliving, he was on the verge of a breakout, having released his 3rd album, Welcome to O Block, just last week before he got unalived. They say he began rapping when he was in jail on an murder charge at 19, which those charges were eventually dropped. His childhood friend, Little Dirk, signed him to his label. Only the family has frequently collabed with Von. The 2 were charged with attempted murder, among other charges, for a June 2019 incident in ATL. Goodness. That's what I'm talking about. Damn, they got to stop this long history and long history of all this damn stuff, of these beefing, these violence, unaliving each other. If you're gonna do all of these things, what is the point of rapping What is the point of making money to get out of this situation if you're going to insist on staying in this situation? What is the point? I mean, what is the point of doing anything if you're going to, rush your life cycle by ending it, involving yourself in stuff that does not even make any sense? You would think when people get money and fame and success, they would move away, far away, and stop dealing with certain people. But no, some people just cannot learn and they never learn. And then this is what happens. You get someone taken out at 26 years old. You get someone taken out. I can't remember how old MO3 was. At MO3's age, you get people taken out at Tupac's age, Biggie Small's age, and so many other rappers. It just does not even make any sense. When will this cycle stop? You got people all on social media saying it doesn't pay to be a rapper because rappers, get unalive. Rap music gets you unalive. And honestly, you guys, it's not the rap music. It's the people who are being rappers. Okay, it's them. It's not the music itself. It's what they choose to do when they get successful and how they glorify violence, and the public buys it. Okay, the public buys it, which encourages them to continue on with this type of lifestyle, this type of behavior, and all of that. And until all this change and people mindsets change and the record companies, change, this is going to continue to happen. You said Von could not walk after getting shot. Okay. So if he could not walk after getting shot, and his cousin said that he tried to get up out the bed and did the most, well, we know then that may not be possible if he could not walk. Okay. And why would his cousin be lying like that? Let's see what his autopsy report says. Let's see if we see it here. No, don't view in the damn app. Let me go back. I don't want to look at this in no app. Okay. Damn. I was trying to see this. They're trying to make me download this. Okay, let me look at it somewhere else because I don't need to do all that to look at his medical report. Here's one right here. Let's see what was going on with his medical report. So they said that he was on MDMA. Okay, let me see what this says. Let me see if I can screenshot this and enlarge this real good. Hold on, y'all. Let me see. So he had interest in his left lateral back. He had a pathway through the left chest cavity, his diaphragm, spleen, pancreas, small bowel, right kidney, right pelvic bone. It exited on his right hip. And they tell you every damn thing, man. He had a large irregular interest on his left hip. Damn, he had one that violated the peritoneal cavity. So he had an exit wound, which was, I guess, buried in his surgical incision. He had a penetrating gunshot wound, too, of a non-specific range of fire. He also got shot in his right buttocks, pathway through the soft tissue of his right buttocks. He also had a projectile recovered near the right side of his sacrum. Damn. He had another gunshot wound on his left, thigh. And then it exited on his left medial thigh. Okay, it came in on his left lateral thigh, and then it exited on his left medial thigh. Then he had another pathway through the soft tissues of the thighs. Gosh. And then another re-entry on the right medial thigh. Then an exit. Let's see what else they got. He didn't have no type of natural disease. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. He was perfect. He was healthy. So let's see. His toxicology report said blood 3.4 for methy something. So he was on some type of little drugs, I guess. Now he wasn't on no, white stuff or no alcohol. Okay. So the cause of unalignment is a gunshot wounds of the torso and thighs. That's sad, man. Gosh. And the thing about, like I just said, he did not have any underlying diseases. So a perfectly healthy young man that chose that lifestyle that he was in, because if he was in some type of altercation with Quando Rondo, like they claim, then once again, we got young people doing the most, beefing, tripping out, and end up getting their lives ended over foolishness. This dude was perfectly healthy. No telling how long he could have lived, how successful he could have been. He could have been living the life. It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. Let me go back to that article again. We need to look up MO3s too to see what all happened. Let's see. Let me go back to this actual story first so I can see what some of these people are saying. Plus, I want to show y'all these videos real quick. And I got to hurry because in a minute it's going to be time for me to go pick up my daughter. Hold on, let me see. So let me go ahead and go back to the article. I want to see what they said in the comment section real quick. Then I'm going to try to show you maybe one video. Where's the KingVon? Okay, let's see. Then I want to look up MO3's autopsy real quick, if I can. I'm not reading this comment right here, okay? Because it's plainly ridiculous, okay? I guess I could read it to you because I want to read the comment that came out of it. Somebody said, this man was a demon and an iller. Who cares? You reap exactly what you sow. The thing is, though, what people fail to realize is that everybody reap what they sow, okay? Everybody does. And then somebody else came back and said the people he unalive were illers too, okay? And then Justin came back and said, if you run up on somebody, they have every right to shoot. It's Von's fault, okay? And then backup account said just what I said. At the end of the day, we lost another member of the African American community to nonsense. Praying for the family. And then somebody said, yeah, a real stand-up member. Listen, the thing about it is this right here. When some of these young people do be acting crazy, you have to go back into their parenting, their lifestyle, and many other things to see why they chose the pathway they chose, okay? It doesn't mean that, if they continue to live, their lives can't be, they can't be converted to, a better citizen, into not, partake in all these different weird things that they do. It doesn't mean they can't change, all right, and become a real stand-up member, all right? I don't know why people think people can't change, why they think people will always be, a thug or whatever else you want to call them. Some people choose to change, and that's exactly what they do. So I don't think we should be just like give up or say just because he was this or that, we didn't lose anything, okay? Because you did lose something. And if people would have taken the time out and did what they needed to do with this young man when he was younger, if they didn't, he might have chose a different pathway. You know what I'm saying? Or even when he was like 18, 19 or whatever, Somebody said, like, why he speak on this? Why now? I hope he got the clout he was craving. This was nobody's business. Okay. And then just doing me say, wow, what a wild made up ass story. Man, this dude's family, friends, and fans will not stop trying to make this dude out to be some type of invincible person or something. Bro, this was just the average guy that was out there in Chicago illing people and bragging about his, you know what, on songs and social media. He let his own hype go to his head and thought he saw an opportunity to embarrass someone and flaunt for the sake of social media and found out other people were unalive too. He got his ass slumped and put in the dirt. So stop all this shit about he popped up looking for a GUN. Yeah, right. When little Tim hit his ass with that fire, his body locked up and Satan welcomed him home. Now that's the real end of story. Period. Okay. And then somebody said that's the truth. Live by, die by. Okay. And then Robert said, as I recall, KingVon was shot in Atlanta after a fist fight with someone. And then someone else shot him and he passed at the scene. He became a millionaire in his own right in a few months. Not for selling you know what, but from his ability to use what he knows to do. I heard him say that he was locked up since he was 16 years old. That's the problem right there, okay? When he was released from jail, I believe he was either 19 or 20. He made up his mind about not being locked up anymore. He was able to purchase his mother a mansion in the Suffolk Roads. The only mistake he made was leaving his security detail and driving himself to the Hooker Lounge, where the first fight happened. He should be honored. Little Dirk should be pardoned from jail by President Trump for believing in KingVon and investing in him. All right. That was Robert. Then somebody said he put so many people in the ground. LOL. And then Peachy said the only mistake he made, he was a murderer. And then somebody said, dude from Milwaukee, you are thoroughly confused. KingVon had much blood on his hands here in Chicago. Don't make him out to be a saint. He ain't no saint. And then Corey said, I wish he was still here, though I miss a lot of them. Just stick up no matter what. And then don't be upset, said it's over, let it rest. Okay, and this is what I said. If Von used his talent as a rapper to better himself and get out of Chi-Town, instead of picking up the mic and doing his thing that he had a lot of talent, he decided to pick up the GUN instead. Randy had a lot of blood on his hands. This is what happened when young men with talent get caught up in the streets. All that talent goes to waste in another life taken. And I agree. And I'm going to stop right there with a comment because that's true. I mean, you know, if you want to be a rapper, right, and you're fighting and you're hustling and you're doing what you got to do legally to get in that position, why would you mess it up to continue to be the thug you once was? And yeah, it may be hard to get out of certain situations, but that's why sometimes you just got to pick up and leave and just try to go somewhere else and just try to stay out of that. And I know it's hard to do that. I really do. But, you know, a lot of people have done it. A lot of people have done that. It can be done. And parents got to be parents. I'm going to say that again. This little dude started doing stuff when he was 16, probably earlier than that. So once again, it goes back to what I said. You know, things start at home. Parents need to be parents and make sure that they're raising their kids in a productive manner. And dads need to be in their sons' and daughters' lives. Okay, even if you're not with the mom. And moms, you need to let the dad be there as long as he's not abusive and crazy as hell or anything like that. Let these dads be in their kids' lives if they want to. Okay? Because kids do need both. They really do. Now, let me go ahead and let y'all hear this video real quick. Make sure they ain't saying no crazy stuff. Hold on. I don't know which one I listen to. That's Yella Beezy right there. Let's see.
So KingVon didn't get an unalive
by the shots.
So this is crazy.
According to someone that's KingVon cousin, said that KingVon didn't ultimately pass because of his wounds. He said KingVon passed because he woke up after they did 2 surgeries on him and started fighting the doctors, and he went into shock, and that's when he ultimately passed. So KingVon didn't get an
Okay, let's stop right there. So, okay, he didn't say he got out of bed. Okay, so like I said, I don't know if this is true or not. What his cousin say? Tony Band says his cousin lies a lot. Other people did too. I don't know for sure because we weren't there. I thought he said he got up out of bed. He didn't say that. He said he woke up and he started fighting the nurse, and then he started looking for his GUN, and then he passed out. I mean, he passed on from going into shock, and you just never know. That could be true. You know what I'm saying? Because he wasn't unalive when they took him to the hospital. All right, so anything could be possible. I don't know for sure. Let's see what some of these people are saying. It says it sounds like something he would have done. Rest in peace, Bond. Okay, so hopefully his cousins are lying, point blank. Because I mean, if he is, that's crazy. That's crazy as hell. Now let's see if we can find MO3's autopsy real quick report, and then we're going to get out of here. Okay. Let's see. And he was 28 when he passed on, huh? Okay. Still too young, you guys. Let's see if I can get it real quick. Well, I ain't gonna be looking at no picture. Let's see. Let me look and see what this is. Right? Oh, let me see this one. Oh, okay, this is something else. They're trying to show us. I'm trying to look and see if I see his autopsy real quick. They don't have that up there. Let me see if I can see it somewhere else. Hold on. Damn, they said Rihanna is pregnant again, guys. She may just be looking like that. So they won't release this autopsy report, right? They said, have you seen his full report? That was a year ago, though. Let's see. They just telling you how it happened right here. I don't want to see those pictures. Let's see. Anyway, I don't see it. I don't think they released it. I'm not sure. And I just wanted to see where he was shot at. That's it. But anyway, y'all, I'm going to definitely keep y'all updated because I don't see it. Let's see what this is. I'm going to definitely keep you guys, hold on, updated on Yella Beezy. I do not know. Why did I say damn allow? I'm going to keep you guys updated on Yella Beezy and on the gang leader, alleged gang leader, and anything new on KingVon as well, okay? Because I just know his cousin. I don't know if his cousin's telling the truth or not, but I just want to see what everybody else is going to say about that. This shit right here, man. So they blocked that on my phone. Let's see. Well, I guess not. They probably was lying right here anyway. Let's see. They're talking about some uncovering shocking findings. this shit is, they probably lying right here. Anomalies in his organs. Okay. Let's see. You can find almost anything out on this internet. I'm not gonna lie, you guys. This is, let's see. On my actual desktop, I'll probably open this all the way out. Let's see. They took it out because it was here. I mean, you can still see a little of it right here. Let me see what this means right here. What does this mean? Let's see. Copy. Let's see what this says right here. What does, let's see what this means. What does, in organs. Let's see what that's mean. What does that mean? Let's see. Oh, it's any deviation or abnormality in structure or function of a body part or system, often present at birth, but can also develop later. Something that is different from what is normal or expected. Okay. So that could be happening because when he got shot, I don't know. But I was just reading a little of it, what they had online. I couldn't open up the rest, so it is what it is. But like I said before, I'm going to keep you guys on top of the information regarding Yella Beezy, crazy ass, and his situation. And of course, on the alleged, they say he's a gang leader, but I'm going to keep you guys, abreast of that as well. Okay? Before we leave, though, it was something else I was trying to tell you guys. Not this. KingVon. I think that's it. I got some fuckery news for y'all tomorrow for sure. Okay? For sure. So I'm going to wait till tomorrow to tell you guys all of this other stuff. And until then, thank you guys for tuning in. All right? Thanks to Jermaine for being here. He must be asleep because he ain't said anything in the chat for a minute. Also, Most Hated Bronze, thank you so much for tuning in. Tony Bands, thank you so much for tuning in. Enjoy your work night. Okay? Thanks to everybody, the Bushes, and everybody who watches this in the replay. My condolences are expressed out to Mo3's mom, his other family members, and friends and fans. My condolences are also expressed out to KingVon's parents and his other relatives, his fans and friends, and to anybody else that I talked about who lost their lives, to their family members as well. Even earlier when I had my live and stuff. It's a shame whenever we lose people, especially in senseless violence. Again, I wish they would stop doing all this foolishness in this rap industry. And I wish, this would be promoted like it is, which encourage, these young rappers to engage in all this type of foolishness and all these beefs. Again, you would think that these rappers would learn, from Pac and Biggie Smalls. Okay, but clearly they haven't. Just because you get into the rap industry, it doesn't mean that you have to portray an image of being a fucking thug, of being a thug that's just, don't give a shit about anything. You don't give a shit about taking someone's life or having yours taken. It doesn't mean you have to do all of that. When you get that opportunity to pursue your dreams and you get a chance to make the money you envision yourself to have, one would think you would try to stay out of certain situations so you can enjoy your money, so you can enjoy your fame in your life. Why even pursue stuff if it ends up that you won't be able to enjoy anything that you work hard for? because you choose to engage in stupidity and foolishness and beefs over foolishness. There's some point to it. And people who like to promote this foolishness, you guys are just as guilty. All right. And people who like to encourage this foolishness, okay, you are just as guilty too. And people who like to instigate this shit, you are just as guilty too. Point blank. If you guys want this violence to stop, you got to first start at home. You got to first start with your mindset. Okay? And that's on everything. You guys have a good night. Thank you to everybody in the bushes, everybody who watches us in the replay. And don't forget, guys, if you enjoyed this content tonight, to thumbs it up, which means to like the video. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe below and hit that bell notification so you can be notified of any upcoming videos. Okay? Also, make sure you share and leave a comment. And don't forget, if you want to donate to the channel, you can do that with a super sticker, super chat, Cash App at $ShadesTube. What's the other? Or a membership for $4.99. All right? Until tomorrow, guys, for Fuckery Friday, have a blessed night and have an even more beautiful. And you know, if it's blessed, it can't be no better than that. So have a blessed Friday as well. Okay? And happy born day to all of my March babies. Peace out, you guys. Take care.